So I've had this idea for a while. It involves likening issues of social justice to pools, where the contents of those pools represent some problem, whatever that may be. And the draining of those pools represents the work or progress of dealing with those issues. But more particularly, how certain subsets of the population react when those pools start to empty. Every society has its problems, has its issues of social justice. We can think of these issues of social justice that a society faces as being contained by pools that need to be drained. Draining the pool of its contents is the work or process of a culture's moral evolution. And so obviously the goal is to drain these cesspools. But here's the important premise to the rest of the video. These pools often provide a sort of cause for certain types of people, those people that find their identity in fighting for social justice. And really, this extends beyond people. There are businesses, organizations, all sorts of identities that find their purpose in working to drain the pool. And the larger the pool, the more those identities and the work that they do are appreciated. And so, as society progresses in draining these pools, those identities start to falter in their sense of purpose. They aren't needed as they were once before. And that provides motivation to begin artificially adding trouble to the pool to make up the difference. Okay, so the model's been set up. That's it. Okay, so when you look at this, when it's first taking off, the effect is almost innocent. The difference between the volume of the actual problem and the actual problem plus the artificial is small enough that to obsess over the point would be a waste of resources. The friction that would be caused by focusing on the 1% issue rather than the 99% issue would even be counterproductive and not received well, and rightly so. But as society continues to progress, as it improves, as it drains the pool, as it rights its wrongs, as the truly grotesque contents of the liquid diminish, and as they continue to be replaced by the artificial filler, the ratio of artificial to legitimate grows, and as it does, a certain level of societal aggravation comes with that. The difference between the actual level of tragedy and the level of tragedy that some would have us believe becomes more obvious to more individuals, bringing about more and more frustration. If the identities artificially keeping the pool filled remain motivated, eventually the aggravation, the friction taking place out on the cultural plane will hit a critical mass, where the observers of the pool will start to tribalize into one group that can't or won't admit to what's happening, and the other group which clearly sees the dynamic. And so you've got one group that wants the pool to be treated with panic and moral urgency as though it is still full to the tip, and you've got the other group that, although seeing there is still work to be done, still content to be drained from the pool, develops a deep frustration with the other group. Maybe they feel the one side is taking advantage of the issue. Maybe they simply value truth and want to have a proportionate narrative surrounding the pool. Maybe because they simply want an acknowledgement of the progress that has been made. In this paradigm, this thought experiment can be very useful. There are some societal issues that this illustration can help to describe. We all, or most of us, want to drain the pool. But some of us are so attached to the action of actually draining the pool itself that we find ourselves keeping the pool full. Some of us, by keeping the pool full in a weird sort of way, actually maintain a feeling of fulfillment ourselves. So what will happen? Well, this state, this relationship between the pool and the divided observers isn't sustainable. Something will snap under the growing leverage. Society will have to at some point make the obvious decision about the pool. Do we adopt the lie, or do we shut it down? Do we allow for the others to continue to fill the pool with their toxic sludge to satisfy their needs, or do we say, enough, no more, we have progressed, and though the pool is not yet emptied, we are getting there. No more polluting, no more exacerbating the issue, no more dramatizing the truth for your own gain. Now, you might be thinking of a few key issues which you feel this describes exactly. You might have already considered some issues that these pools describe. And if you haven't, this video wouldn't be for you. The purpose of this video is to expand on a dynamic playing out in society that I am sure many have already identified. And the issue could be anything. It might be immigration, it might be racism, it might be sexism, it might be the freaking masks. Whatever the pool is, it is there. And however full or empty the pool is a discussion to be had. But identifying the very real dynamic, the very real event, namely the keeping alive of moral tragedies, we can help provide ourselves with a clear target of the real problem to be addressed. Realizing this can lead us to see people as not being with us or against us on the given issue itself, on whether or not the pool ought to be drained, but rather that they are actively obsessing over making the issue worse than it is for some gain that we find disagreeable. Now, different people would claim to see this playing out in different ways. For myself, I think about the far-left social justice warrior whose motivation is that they really just can't stomach the fact that their actual historical relevance is infinitesimal, and there really are no dragons to slay in America, so they conjure up illusory ones so that they can pretend they did their part in historic times before they die in extreme comfort. But that's just my opinion.